2K, Norns, we're reviewing Tyranid lists. We have not gotten more worms. Sorry, chat. We don't have more worms, dude. In any other setting, I'm sure the statement "we don't have worms" is probably a good thing. But I guess in this scenario, I've let stream down. I've let chat down. I do not have any worms. Welcome, everybody. Feels like it's been a while, and I think it has been a while. It's been 2 weeks since we've done one of these. Last week, I had way too much going on, so I was like, I can't, So I apologize. But we're here now. I've got 10 lists. I'm going to do 10 lists this week because I do feel a little bit bad about missing last week. So we're going to get through as many lists as we can. 10 lists. We're gonna start trying to, do a little bit more lists each stream so that we can dig into this ginormous pile of lists that have been submitted. It's kind of crazy. Alex G is in chat and he asks a phenomenal question. He says, how do I join the list queue? The way that you join the list queue is you go to our channel, all right, and then you hit subscribe. Great, that'd be amazing. You don't actually have to, but it would be cool. And then you go to our post tab, and in the post tab, there's a giant thread that I have created. You just copy and paste your list that you want to be reviewed, and then you post it in there. And then I'll take a look at it eventually. Members do have a little bit of a priority. I normally get members done the week after they submit or whatever the next stream is. Like if you submitted yours on Thursday and became a member, then I'm probably gonna look at it Monday, in that scenario. So yeah, if you're not a member, I promise I will get to your list. It just might take a little bit. And yeah, don't forget to like the stream. Happy Monday, Jordan. Just picked up my first ever bugs over the weekend to start a Crusher list. Amazing. Fantastic. Finished assembling the first 2K Tyranids points today. Amazing job, Sandra. Fantastic work. Ben is probably not a meme list today. Actually, I'm kind of like, I think it might be 3 weeks before we do another meme list because we actually have our schedule like pretty much planned out. I think next week I'm going to be running a swarm list on stream. I'm going to be doing my darndest to get 60 termagants painted in a week. Do you guys think I can do it? Do you think I can paint 60 termagants in a week? We'll see. I don't know. I think I'll be able to do it, honestly. I've got a pretty good system. I'm going to prime everything. Then there's this thing called an airbrush where it's like, psh, and I should be able to get it done. Poncho says, hey, Jordan, you reviewed my list a couple weeks ago, but we got the points cost wrong. Message you on Discord if you have any advice on what to get cut to get it to 2K. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at Discord DMs because I have like everything muted. So if you reach out to me over Discord, I apologize. That's not always, I'm not always the best at reviewing that. I'm sorry. I need the Swarm Lord for the Swarm list. It's probably going to be a hard time. But anyways, let's get into our first list. Chat, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. So good to be hanging with you guys again. And so good to be seeing Turds McGee's list. Turds McGee's list is phenomenal. He's a member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Wait, hold up. We're at 6,000 subscribers, folks. 6,000 subscribers. And would you believe that a lot of it is just, me sitting here. But no, from the live games, from the tactics talks to the RV list review shows, you guys show up and you do a really good job. So thank you for 6K and thank you. Congrats. All right, here we go. Here's Turds McGee's list. He says, hey friends, I was watching the video posted about utilizing a Norn emissary, which got me thinking about a list that really can deny a player primary. The idea is the Norns get to their objectives while walking the dog Maleceptors. Oh goodness. Utilizing Crusher Stampede strat or untrammeled ferocity as needed. While big lads are setting up, you're rushing out gargoyles to move block and hold up the enemy early game. You have the Narrow Tyrant up your sleeve for later in the game too. A couple lictors and Biowar secondaries. This sounds great. I love this. Could be a good laugh. Could look at going Invasion Fleet and merging the gargoyles into blobs of 20 for a 5 up field ping. I really like just running gargoyles as like a just missile primary denial, secondary denial kind of stuff. Could look at or synaptic nexus for maximum utilization of Norns and Maleceptors on objectives. Sweet. Awesome, Matt. Glad you've been hanging in. As in the week next week or next week next week. So this week we are this week we are doing, I think we're doing Death Guard versus World Eaters. I will not be on stream. I will be probably making or painting 60 Termagants during that day. And the Death Guard versus World Eaters, if there's a chance that a slate comes out, that matchup might be changing. Who knows? But probably Death Guard versus World Eaters. And then the following week, I'm hoping to play a Swarm list. And then the week after that, I'm actually going to be playing Blood Angels against my buddy Kyle playing Tyranid. So we got a pretty cool schedule coming up for the next 3 weeks. But anyways, let's take a look at this Crusher Stampede list. We have Neurotyrant with Null Nodes. Is that the extra OC one? Oh my god! Oh my gosh! He's got 50 gargoyles, folks. Oh man. Okay. Man after my own heart. 50 gargoyles. Biovore, Lictor, Biovore, Lictor, Maleceptor, Norn. You know, this is kind of cool. However, I don't know. So if we cut, it's triple Maleceptor, triple Norn Emissary, 50 gargoyles, 2 Lictors, a Biovore, and a Neurotyrant. I don't know. This is kind of cool. Exocrines, yeah. So that is the thing that we were missing. But it comes to a point where, like, how many gargoyles are we wanting to drop in order to put extra shooting? JJ, gargoyles. Okay, so here's chat. Chat, we could do something. I could be really cool. Where like, ooh, these points need to happen in this whatever. And Uncle Ho, I agree. I don't even know how to. I don't know how to touch this list. In my opinion, here is what Tyranids should say. Tyranids, no changes. I don't think Tyranids need to. I don't think Tyranids need to be changed right now. I'll be honest with you. I really don't. Okay, so 2 things. Honestly, who did this list? Turds McGee, play this list. This looks ridiculous. I do think that I like it better in Crusher than Synaptic Nexus, just because, yeah, Toxicrene would be cool, but I feel like Toxicrene is going to need way too many things in order for it to be good. Okay, maybe Tyrannicide down 50 points, but yeah. Screamer Killer, I would like to see some help with Screamer Killer. That would be cool. Like, I would like Screamer Killer spam in Crusher Stampede. I feel like would be super, super cool. I would love to see that. I just don't think it's going to happen. So this is tough because, like, I just want you to run this list. I don't think it kills a lot. I really, really don't. We could do, like, in my opinion, I don't want to change anything. I think this is just phenomenal. I think it's really, really cool. Yeah, Uncle Ho is correct. You just can't move them. I don't know what we do, chat, because we could like go down to 3 gargoyles. I do kind of want like a tyrant of some kind, but man, I don't know. Turds, tell us how it does. I think your plan is very, very good. I think the thing that you're gonna run into, I mean, you also have action monkeys too. So like, how many points is the null nodules? Because I don't really think we need to be running the null nodules. I think that is probably something that you're like, I have X amount and I'm gonna run null nodules. We'll see. All right. I can't. I'm trying to just be lazy and check like using my battle roster or whatever. And oh, he has a 5-up feel no pain against psychic attacks. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, I don't know, man. I really think it is fine. If we did so, if we cut three, I don't want to cut gargoyles. You know what, chat? I'm sorry. I think there's no changes to this list for what this guy's game plan wants to do and what it's trying to do. 50 gargoyles, 3 Norns, and 3 Maleceptors. The literal title of the list is primary denied. There's no changes. I This is fantastic. Good job, Turds McGee. Please play this list. Tell us how it does. Tell us what you think. Because you do have the triple walk in the dog package, the Maleceptor, Norn. That's powerful. If you could jam in like a winged hive tyrant, that would be great. I would probably be okay dropping the neuro tyrant. You don't really need synapse, and then taking this for Shadow in the Warp is whatever. You could probably just drop the neuro tyrant and a squad of gargoyles for a winged hive tyrant. Yeah, so that's what I would do. That's my big change. I would drop this and drop 1 squad of gargoyles for a winged hive tyrant, and then just post him up behind whichever objective you want to have the most control. Yeah, dude, it's sick. It's this great list. I want to play that, and I have just enough gargoyles, and I have just enough Norns now too. Goodness gracious. Okay, sweet. Moving right along. First list done. Let's take a look, see if chat is doing anything. Uncle Ho's talking about Toxicranes. Yeah, they are pretty rough. Rules and points for Toxicranes could be incredible, and I agree. 10 points, thank you. Is it an issue that I start every list with 2 units of Horms? I just love the updated sculpt. No, dude, I really think Hormagaunts look really, really cool as well. I only have 1 squad that I painted. I'm wishing that I had more, Rodrigo says I start every list with Neurotyrant for the same reason. Yeah, it's a really cool model. Yep, always play the models with Cool You, Jaldrin. The only problem I see with this list is having to paint 50 gargoyles. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Give the Screamer Killer Twin Link on its talons. Probably solved. It would make sense if the Screamer Killer's talons were Twin Link, because he's got like 4 of them, and he's like, I don't know. I really think he just needs to get places better. If he got places better, keep the points the same. If he had if he always had the Kool-Aid Man thing, if he had Advanced Charge or something, I think he would be better. But here we are. And speaking of here we are, Drew Stutz. I need guidance, O conduit of the hive mind. This is less of an actual list, more showcase of what I own. Not everything is included. So I need your aid to go from wild scattergun approach to a unique competitive list. So all I ask is the list to be focused either on brain bugs or the wiggly, squiggly, sneaky bugs. I like unusual, non-traditional tactics, so feel free to get experimental. All right, so we're going to try and make a list with what he's got. He's got a Hive Tyrant. I like the melee Hive Tyrant for sure. He's got a Neuro Tyrant, and then he's got a Winged Tyranid Prime. I'm just going to do this and break this up a little bit. Chat, just let's do a pulse check. Are we feeling brain bugs or wiggly, squiggly, sneaky guys? I guess we need to take a look at what he has. Okay. He does have Gene Stealers. No Brood Lord. He's got Zoanthropes. He's got Ripper. He has a Norn Assimilator. Okay. Psychophage, Screamer Killer, and Tyrant Effects. And that is it. Brain bugs. He needs a Parasite. I think the Norn's singular purpose should be buffed to allow you to switch targets after the one you pick is destroyed. I'll have to play a Norn aggressively instead of... that could be cool. That could be cool. So need your aid to go from... Okay, so I'm guessing... So this is not going to be... This is not 2,000 points, I don't think. So I guess let's try and find the thing that he is closest to. I mean, in my opinion, at this point, you can just like run an assimilator as a Norn emissary. Like a lot of people, if you just tell them that, oh, this is a Norn emissary, they're going to be like, sweet, you know. Oh, this is a lot. Yeah, no infiltrate, no deep strike units. I agree. Next stream, I'm gonna have new recruits set up so that I'm saying that out loud, so I'm beholden to it, so that I can do stuff like this in front of everybody. Okay, it's tough because like for either of those detachments, I feel like he's gonna have to purchase quite a bit. I guess that's the name of the game, but so he's got 10 Gene Stealers, no Broodlord. Hmm. Got 3 Zoanthropes, a Maliceptor, and I think we're just gonna say that this is an Emissary. He does have a Tyrant effects. Okay, so I think we go more towards like my standard thought process of a Synaptic Nexus list, and we can go from there. So I'm just gonna put the things down that we probably don't have to buy first. Hive Tyrant, and then I think Synaptic Control is 20, so then this is going to be 255. Neuro Tyrant, this is going to be 115 with the power of the Hive Mind. It's either 115 or 120. It's a dangerous game, just throwing out numbers, and not checking. Here we go. Jeez, GW really needs to. They know too, because like their app, if it doesn't work, they're like, "Are you already subscribed?" And it means like they know that there's a problem with their app where if you try and add something, it doesn't register for you being whatever. I'm going off on a tangent. Okay, brain bugs. Boom. So we're doing Hive Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant are going to be our 2 characters. Enhancement is going to be Synaptic Control. I was right, 255, and then enhancement here. Power of the Hive Mind is 10 points. I was correct on that. Okay, cool. So we don't need to buy anything there. Battle line. I like 2 Hormagaunts. There was somebody in chat that was also saying they like 2 Hormagaunts. I'm not a huge fan of Termagants just on their own. I really feel like you're going to have to like plan around them. All right, so we're doing Hormagaunts, and then Gargoyles. I do think if you're starting out with Tyranids, I think you should get Gargoyles. Like they're probably one of the best units in the game, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just feel like you should have them. Then you absolutely need to get a Biovore. Other data sheets. 50 points, and then like you really do need to run Biovores too. And I do understand the thing that some people don't really want. They don't want to feel like they have to do something in order to play the game, but like and then I think moving towards, if you're really starting out, double Exocrine is a good way to go. I would probably wait until the end of this week. Hint, hint. I don't know, in case something is happening. But I don't think I don't think Exocrine should be touched too much. But there is always that worry that they could be. So I'm just kind of building. So I'm building a brain bug list. I know it doesn't feel like it's quite brain buggy yet, but we will get there, and then 2 lictors. And then I guess, okay. I will try and build as much from what we already have and then go from there. I think Barbgaunts are okay. I think I like Barbgaunts way better in Invasion Fleet than I do Synaptic Nexus, but they are pretty good. I definitely think double Exocrine is a good buy for you. And then two lictors, which it is a little frustrating how expensive they are, like money wise, for how little they do, or for for how many points they have. I feel like they do an incredible amount. And then we have Maliceptor. Let's see what happens if we just stick to one Maliceptor and one Norn Emissary. Let's see what our list looks like that. So we'll get rid of that. Boom. And then Norn Emissary. We're running the assimilator as an emissary just because I think it fits better for this. And truly, like, if anyone gives you a hard time for, I don't know, running an assimilator as a emissary, they're not super chill. Tyranid, Rupture Cannon, and then the second Tyranid, who's Sir appearing off screen. You would need to buy the second Tyranid, and that puts us at 1890, which is a clean 100 points away. Things we can do. It's weird because like Tyranids, like at the 70-point range, at the 60-point range, and like 80-point range, there's a lot of units that can slot right in. And then like at 100 points, it's kind of like, oh, well, you need a unit and something. And it's not quite there. So this could, let's see what else he has. He does have a Screamer Killer. We could do a Psychophage and then just kind of run at people. Oh, we need Zoanthropes. I'm a goober. Yeah, we need Zoanthropes for sure. So we're going to do this. And this is just kind of to help his collection. So instead of the second... Oh, but then that would be what, at 120, right? Jeez, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. Doing our darnest. Sometimes it's tough to build the stuff right on the spot. So that would be at 1900, so we're 100 points away. Neurolictor would be cool. Yeah. It gives us a little bit more scoring. It goes with the... I like that. Who said that? Zage. Good going. Good going. Okay, so this is kind of where I would start to go. And unfortunately, you have to buy stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could also like wait on the Exocrines. I think Tyranid are really good. I personally do not feel like Tyranid are going to get touched, fingers crossed, in the data slate. I think they're really good, but I think every single army deserves some good units. There's also an argument where you could not do the Neurolictor and just wait to buy that and then do a Psychophage instead. That could be cool too. You could do something like drop the Neurolictor and drop the Barb Gaunts, and then you could throw your Screamer Killer in there. Oh, the 5 update changes? Yeah. Yeah, that video is doing pretty well. I thought there was some good points in there, and I'm curious what happens. But yeah, this is kind of where I'd go with Synaptic Nexus with a Brain Bug list. And if you're starting out Tyranids, you like your buy list should be Biovore. Unfortunately, it's like one of those units where we really need to have it. Exocrines are really good. A Neurolictor is okay. The great ask why is Neurolictor a better option than Death Leaper? They're kind of like 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. It is it is Nexus, so that the Synapse does kind of lean towards more than Neurolictor. Death Leaper's cool as well. I just like kind of the activation from the Neurolictor. And if you do the thing that we were talking about, what was it? You could cut 2 or 3 of these units and then put a Screamer Killer in to help out the Neurolictor. That would be sweet as well. Another good unit or good package I like to have is double Tyranid Rupture Cannon. That's really good with Irresistible Will. It's really good. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and then wounding a lot of things in the game on 2s. Rerolling 1s to wound as well can do a lot of damage. You will need to buy 3 zoanthropes, but I think a 6-man zoanthrope squad. I think a 6-man zoanthrope squad is a really good unit to just have as a Tyranid player, and you already have 3 here. So things we're not using. We're not using Gene Stealers, Termagants, Von Ryans, the Psychophage, or the Screamer Killer, unless we shake some stuff up. But I really think that those units are better utilized in a different detachment. Wing Tyranid Prime as well. I really like him with the Warriors, but not always by himself. Cool. Nice. Moving right along. Thank you so much for submitting your list, and we really appreciate the support. Thanks for being a member. You're a legend. Thanks, Drew. 6 Zoes is awesome, especially because it kind of like fits in with a whole bunch of different detachments. Like, it's really, really good in Invasion. It's also, in my opinion, pretty good in Synaptic Nexus. I think they're good in Vanguard Onslaught as well, just coming in, like dropping turn 1 from Strategic Reserves, shooting something, and then, They're also a very, like, quintessential Tyranid unit, if you think about it. Like, I think they're kind of, like, mysterious and spooky, and they're cool, They embody, like, Shadow in the War pretty well. It's awesome. Invasion Fleet is next. Awesome. Metals McGee. We have a lot of, like, McGees today. It's kind of cool. He says, "Hey, Jordan, new fan here. Amazing. Thank you. I felt terrified approaching list building until I started watching your videos. Wonderful. Now I've never been more excited to try a 2,000-point game. Here's my shot at a list. I don't really have a game plan. I just picked some units that I thought were strong and cool." Sounds like you got a game plan, man. Playing strong and cool units, that's fine. I'm open to nearly any changes. My only requests are no Raveners, Warriors, no Gargoyles. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, chat? No Gargoyles. That's fine. Okay, sweet. So we're on Invasion Fleet. We have the Broodlord. We have the Hive Tyrant with. We're right at 2,000 points with Synaptic Linchpin. We're going to come back to this. We're going to find 5 points for Adaptive Biology, and we're going to be much happier with our point split than. Oh, what's up? Metals is here. Hell yeah. No, there hasn't, Poncho, but that's a good video idea. Thank you. I'll get working on it. Metals, glad you're here, man. Cool. So Hormagaunts, Termagants, Biovore, Gene Stealers, Lictor, 3 Von Ryans, triple Exocrine, 1 Maliceptor, 2 Tyrannofaxes. Yeah, this is a good list. This is good. Metals. This is a good list, man. I think we really, really, really want to find room for the Synaptic Linchpin to turn into the Adaptive Biology. But this shooting package right here, that's like the same exact shooting package that I've run for quite some time. Maybe you saw me run it before or something like that, but it's pretty nice. It is pretty good. If we're not going into the swarm build, I would probably break up these bricks. At least have 2 MSU, 2 like 2 just 10-man bricks to like shoot out and do stuff. Convince him with the power of your gargoyle impression. No, that gargoyle impression will stay cemented in that one stream. Okay, chat. That's our secret. We can't. Nobody talk about that. Okay, cool. So scoring units. We've got 2 Lictors for Infiltrates. We've got the Von Ryans. We've got 40 Hormagaunts. That's kind of the thing that I'm thinking. We split these off into, but is like. I'm trying to find out like what we could get by breaking these apart. For some reason, I like 30 Hormagaunts, but 40 Hormagaunts is kind of rubbing me the wrong way. The reason why I think these need to be MSU bricks is because they're not really looking to do damage. The damage that's going to come in from your list is going to be the Gene Stealers, and then it's going to be this disgusting brick right here, which is very, very good. That is sweet. And we are staying away from gargoyles. I understand. So no gargoyles. Let's see. If we cut, what I'm thinking is if we cut one Hormigaunt squad, make these 3 10-mans, and one Termagant squad, we have 125 points to play with. So we want to upgrade this to adaptive biology. So we would have 120 points to play with. No Raveners. You know, I think a Pyrovore would be pretty sweet. Some kind of deep strike threat would be good. I will say that. I think we are kind of hamstringing ourselves by doing no Raveners and no Gargoyles, because then deep strike gets a little bit tough because we only have so many units. Okay, so let's do what I was suggesting, and then we can kind of go from there. So we're going to break this up into 2 10-mans. No, three 10-mans. Just because I feel like if we're not using gargoyles, the Hormagaunts have to play the role of screening. There's a bug. Of screening and move blocking that originally Hormagaunts would do. And that's fine. I think Termagants as a 10-man is not really, it almost feels like a unit that we're kind of just using to fill the space, which I do understand that happens sometimes. But I think we're probably able to better utilize our points. So by cutting a Hormagaunt squad and then by cutting a Termagant squad, that's going to bring us to 125 points. What we're going to do right away is change this to adaptive biology. Whoop. Adaptive biology. And then we have 120 points left over. So another thing that I was thinking about doing is this list could really do well with a Pyrovore. But then a Pyrovore, we get into this weird spot where we have 80 points left over. And then we're kind of looking at what we can do with that 80 points. So I'm going to do Pyrovore. I think a Pyrovore helps a lot with the Maleceptor. Also, it's another unit that you can just bring in from reserves and then maybe score a secondary or something. I think they're good, and for 40 points, it's very much a bargain in my opinion. Hopefully GW doesn't watch this stream, so they're like, nuke the Pyrovore. I don't think they do. And then so something that we could do, I do kind of like the Von Ryan's Leapers. I think another squad of Von Ryan's Leapers could help us screen a little bit more. And then round out our list. So then we would have 5 screening units and then 2 lictors. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this. We are 10 points left over, but it is what it is. You know, I've submitted lists to GTs and RTTs with 10 points less, and that's just the list that we're running. I really like this list at this point. I think the double Von Ryan's Leapers is pretty cool because you can screen out a whole bunch of space. And it can also allow for, some good early pressure. And then it's going to allow your triple exocrine to kind of do its job. I would recommend reserving at least 1 exocrine. In addition, I would recommend having your Maleceptor countercharge something that is charging like your Von Ryans or your Hormagaunts. And it's kind of crazy. Like if you're looking at all of this, we got 1, 2. Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe we do want, so instead of that, we could cut the Pyrovore. This is better, folks. This is better. We could cut the Pyrovore and the Von Ryans, which that's 110 points for a Neuro Tyrant. I just realized there's no Neuro Tyrant. And with, I really think Hormagaunts like the Neuro Tyrant. And that means we have 15 points left over. What kind of enhancements can you do for 15 points? And I don't think there's a good one, is there? Oh, you got perfectly adapted. Perfectly adapted, I guess. So that your has a free reroll on his invulnerable save when he goes. Yeah, I feel way better about that than before. I like the 6 Von Ryans, but now realizing that you didn't have a Neurotyrant with the Hormagaunts is really good because then it bumps them up to strength 4, I believe. And so that's a huge breaking point. So then you're actually wounding Space Marines on 4s instead of 5s, which is not what you want to do. But sweet. This looks fun. This looks like a good list. Actually, I think I just made one of the lists that I've played before, except I'm running gargoyles instead of the Hormagaunts. But very nicely done. Thank you for submitting your list. Thank you for supporting the channel, Metals McGee. I believe that's the last member we have. Oh, no, just kidding. J Car Guy. If you guys didn't know that liking the stream actually really does help the stream. If you haven't already, let's all take a moment of contemplation. I'm gonna curiously stare at my Norn assimilator while every single person in chat likes the stream. Interesting. Very nice. Thank you, chat, for liking the stream. Donut. Oh, so good to see you. Your list is on today, man. Hey, Jordan, what do you think about the fact that most of the competitive lists are now running 2 Neuro and only 1 Lictor? That's very interesting. Honestly, I've not heard that. I thought people were kind of leaning towards more Lictors and no Neuro Lictors. It could be, I do think Warhammer is kind of a regional thing. So I apologize. I forget where you where you hail from, but maybe that's something in your region, or maybe I'm missing something in the competitive scene. I think Neurolictors are good. I think they are expensive for what they do right now, but if you have a very intentional plan with the Neurolictor and your list is planned to have them support it and vice versa, your list support the Neurolictor, then I think they can be very powerful. But if it's just for doing secondaries and just for a lone operative, right now at this point, I personally favor Lictors. But in the last couple of U.S. Opens, very interesting. That's sweet. That's awesome. I need to look at those lists. Very cool. J Car Guy 6264. Hey Jordan, been watching your videos for a month or so, and I love the Tyranid Tactics videos. Thanks, man. I love making them. I'm new to Warhammer and play mostly Crusade. I would love to play like an Escalation League or like a Crusade or something where I can like really get into the nitty gritty with painting very specific units, having them grow, but I just never been able to do that. But anyways, there are no secondaries, so games are all about primary, much more killy. I've been struggling to win games, but I've been playing against much more experienced players, though, so that's to be expected. Any tips would be appreciated. From update suggestions to how you would navigate this list in battle. Normally I run Invasion Fleet, but if Sustain or Lethals don't look like they would help very much, I'll pick Synaptic Nexus instead. Okay, so if you are not familiar with Crusade, you can do that. Like your army roster can be flexible, and you can kind of change it. Zage, that is amazing. I love to hear that you're able to do that. Amali Kata, very cool name. Where do I submit my list? I've got the list done with all the models I own. Just want to know what detachment will work best for them. Fantastic. Go ahead to our channel itself. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And then in the post selection of our channel, you can copy and paste your list and just put it right in there. And then add whatever note you want specifically to look at. Or if it's just a collection of models, you can do that as well. If you would like your list reviewed a little bit sooner, consider being a member, and then I will most likely get to it next time we stream on our Army List Review show. So Neurolictors are fashionable now. Maybe. I don't know. All right, let's take a look at what he's got. Hive Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant, great start. Hormagaunts, Biovore, Neurolictor, Lictor, Neurogaunts, Zoanthropes, Screamer Killer, a Cyclophage. Okay. Also, if you have any quick suggestions for models I could add when I go up to 1,500 and eventually 2,000 points, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm planning a mouse scepter and some gargoyles I have, but I would like to hear what you think. Okay, so this list is all right. I do feel like we're beginning our collection, which is really cool, and I love that you're doing that. Um, yeah, I would have a tough time with Crusade, especially if I was playing against a bunch of people that had like these incredibly massive collections and they were able to pick whatever units they wanted for 1,000 points, and then they go for it. I think this list is fine for starting out, but if I was like legitimately going through a Crusade and really trying to be competitive and stuff, this would be tough. I understand, and I think we're upgrading to 1,500, so that's great. I'm gonna do my best to suggest what I think would be great purchases to help you get from there. Oh, and I know exactly what it is. Boom, Brain Blast. Okay, so if we're going, if I'm assuming this is 1,000 points, and it looks to be 1,000 points. This is 145, 240, 340. Yeah, it's 1,000 points. So what I would do, I think the best unit to buy right now for Tyranids after you've gotten your Hive Tyrant is definitely a Tyranifex. Um, and with buying 3 boxes, I think this will get you to 1,500, and it will be pretty good. You want 2 Tyranifexes, Tyranofex, and then these are both going to be Rupture Cannons. And then you want another box of Zoanthropes. That'll be 1,500 because this is 380, and then this is a flat 100. So that'll be 480. So you got 20 points to mess around with. Oh, that's perfect. So you do 20 points. You swap out your Homorgons for your Gargoyles. Boom, 1,500 points. See that, chat? That was pretty good. So really, and I'm trying to suggest things without like taking away a bunch of stuff, because it's always like you have your collection you're building, and then some random talking head on YouTube tells you to never run the units that you have. That's not cool, So too many points and character for 1,000 points. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could see that too. I think 1,000 points is kind of a weird spot, but I think they're kind of more gearing up to 1,500 2K points. So this is what I would do. I would upgrade the Zoanthropes to a 6-man squad and then get 2 more Tyranifexes. I think Tyranifexes could be really cool in Crusade. I think they're going to help you with the holding primary part because they're kind of tough to kill, and then so forth. And then we have 500 points left over. So let's see what else we would get. If you're starting out Tyranids, I think the next thing that you should get is a Brood Lord and Gene Stealers. Brood Lord, Gene Stealers, and I believe that's 230 points. So let's do this. They were another unit that I talked about on my best bugs to buy or something. That video was something like that. I really liked that video too. I had a good time making it. This is 80 points, and then this is going to be 150 points. So that means we have 270 points left. I think at this point, then we have the conversation of adding more of this. So then we would add back in. I had said 270 points. I need to not do this in my head like a crazy person. All right. Jeez, I was going to lose track immediately. 270 points. We're right there. I think at this point we get another Gargoyle squad. Gargoyles, which that's going to be 85 points. And then that's going to bring this down to 185. Very cool. And then, so we could do 2 things. We could do a Mouse Scepter Oh, I really like Maliceptor and then perfectly adapted on the Broodlord. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, and you were talking about how you wanted to do a Maliceptor as well. Sick. I like that plan. And then perfectly adapted on the Broodlord. So purchase list. You're not having to buy too much. I mean, it does add up quite a bit. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in order to get to 1,500 points, I would strongly encourage you go Tyranid, Zoanthropes, another box of Zoanthropes. That's going to be a pretty clean 1,500 there for you. If you have Gargoyles, at that 1,500 points, you can swap out your Hormagaunts for Gargoyles. I think that would work pretty well. And then you have 2 huge shooting threats, 3 actually with the Zoanthropes, and that'll help you, kill stuff. And then next up, I really think a Broodlord and Genestealers would be really good pickup for you, and then Gargoyles and Maliceptor. Then from that point, you want to start looking at things like Exocrines. Of course, we've been talking a little bit about the data slate. There is a small chance that maybe Exocrines get shifted up. If Exocrines get adjusted in points, I would foresee it only being like 10 points. And one huge argument is that Screamer Killers should not be 145 points and Exocrines are at 135 points. In my opinion, I think that means that Screamer Killers should be 125 points. But some people in Games Workshop offices might think that that means that Exocrines are 150 points. In my opinion, for 150 points for an Exocrine, I probably still take it. It comes the question of, am I still taking 2 or am I still taking 3? Maybe I drop down to 3, or maybe I drop down to 2 rather, and then shift some points around for a different unit. But who knows? We'll see. Thank you very much. Was this our last member? J Car Guy. If you want to support the stream, consider being a member. Consider super chatting. I do goofy things on occasion for super chats. I didn't set up a super chat goal this time because I just wanted to get through as many lists as possible. But if you're willing and able, that really helps the channel. It helps us keep the lights on and continue doing all the cool things that we do. It really just supplies our jalapeno and chocolate milk fund at this point. But anyways, next list we have Drew Dog. And he says, I think this was a list that he submitted and then he changed it through a reply or something, which is totally fine. I would recommend you do that instead of resubmitting it, because if you resubmit your comment, then it's going to bump you all the way down in the queue, and I don't want that to happen to you. He says, sorry to change my comment for a review again, but like I said in my last comment, I wanted to try Crusher, which I've now played my first game with and absolutely loved. And I'm really happy with my Invasion Fleet list and would prefer you to look at the Crusher list I have just made perfect. I think my plan will be to keep Gargoyles and Deep Strike and use Lictor for rapid ingress secondaries and Raveners. Very nice. I think we'll look at having Old One-Eye and his single DAC effects as reserve/rapid ingress into his backline. I'll also try to keep the Swarmlord hidden behind terrain, but close to the middle to really limit my brother's options in no man's land. I've also obviously paid the Biowar tax very, very good. I did really struggle because I wanted to fit a Tyrant Guard, 6 Blob in Swarmy, but I couldn't just fit it. What's up, Drew Dog? I'm happy that you're here, man. That's awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Again, love your streams. Hey, thanks, dude. I love doing them too. Basilisk Crusher McFlurry says, if I edit my comment, does that bump it down in the queue? I've edited a lot and now I am worried. I think there's actually a chance that you're here, McFlurry. That's DeWoy. That's Donat. That's Sebastian Dominguez. That's Fire Furby. And interesting. Oh, it's Odd Potato. Yeah, I forgot. I'm doing like a gazillion lists today. I gotta speed up. I don't know, McFlurry. I don't, if you reply to it, I don't think it will bump it down. But I'll be on the lookout out for it next time we stream, just to see where you're at. And I'll let you know next time. Apologies about that. Okay, Crusher Stampede. We've got Old One-Eye. We've got Swarmlord. We've got 1 squad of Gargoyles. Very cool. We've got a Biovore, 1 squad of Carnifex, Exocrine, Haruspex, Lictor, Maliceptor. Zmalok chat. Raveners, Tyranifex. Cool. And let's see, do we have any points left over, or are we chilling directly at 2,000 points? We are right at 2,000 points. Perfect. So, what I think with Crusher Stampede, I think we want to reach a critical mass of monsters, where if you push them all up, what can your opponent do? And hopefully, fingers crossed, the answer is not a lot. That is always the hope. So it is kind of a balancing act between um, just enough monsters and then too little, and just enough screening, or just enough for scoring, or too little. That could be another thing that could be tough. Yes. So things I think this is a pretty cool core of the list. Things that I love exocrines, of course. Chat will know that. I like the double rupture cannon Tyranid effects. I think that is very sweet as well. Raveners are cool. I think personally we probably only need one squad. I think the Moloch is okay, but at this point in Crusher Stampede, I think we probably just want to run it as a Trigon. And it's only 5 points different. You can do you can rapid ingress it, and then the next turn it's going to charge through something and then just really do a whole bunch of damage. So I'm probably going to be looking to just change that to 150 points for a Trigon. If you've modeled it as a Moloch, probably still just run it as a Trigon. Nobody's going to know the difference unless they're a nerd like me. And then you get to make fun of them, right? No. Don't make fun of your opponents. But in truth, just I would probably run this as a Trigon, and then I would feel better about it. The Haruspex is okay. I don't dislike it, because it does kind of, in my opinion, I think you rapid ingress the Haruspex as opposed to the Carnifexes, because the Carnifexes are actually going to have a bigger footprint than the Haruspex. It's going to be way easier for your opponent to screen out Carnifexes than it is for the Haruspex. And honestly, I think you probably just cut the Carnifex and just run Old One Eye by himself. Now, there's an argument that you run. Ow, man, I just thwacked my finger. There's an argument that the Blood Surge is kind of cool and stuff, but the Carnifexes unfortunately don't really benefit too much from the Crusher Stampede rule, because I guess they get +1 to hit. Oh, well, no, they don't. This unit is actually not really going to benefit from Crusher Stampede as well at all, because it's multiple models. So this Carnifex would have to die, and then once it dies, Old One Eye is not at the starting strength of the unit. It's just a new unit, so doesn't really do anything. So I think we do cut the Carnifexes. Nyx, see you later, man. Enjoy Monster Hunter. It looks really good. I hope to play it one day. And use the points elsewhere. Yeah. Odd Potato said it way quicker than I did. Thank you, Odd Potato. We're at 115 points. I also think we could. I think we cut one of these guys too. I think we cut one squad of Raveners. I really do like Raveners. I just think two squads of Raveners is maybe not where we want to be. That means we have 190 points. So we can solve this really quickly, and we could just put a Acid Spray Tyranifex in, which would be sweet. We're actually at 185 points because we want to upgrade this Moloch into a Trigon. Ooh. 185 points is less stuff that we can do. Sage, that sounds like a lot of fun, man. What we could do, what would be fun, is we could do a Screamer Killer alongside the Haruspex, and then we have 40 points left over, and then a Pyrovore fits in pretty cool. But what I think is probably better is a third Exocrine. And then we have 50 points left over. And then maybe like a Pyrovore. And then we're just chilling. We have 10 points left over, but then it's fine. I like those changes. I think they're pretty cool. Screamer Killer would be fun as well. And if you want a Screamer Killer, see, here's the thing. I think a third Exocrine is probably more competitive. It's probably stronger. A Screamer Killer does fit pretty well in Crusher Stampede. If it gets hurt at all, then it's hitting on 2s. And that's really strong. But yeah, I feel like the Harspecs kind of serves the same role as the Screamer Killer. Maybe you want to have one of these guys in reserves and the other one not in reserves. So like the Harspecs maybe is on the table and the Screamer Killer is in reserves. So he can rapid ingress and then the Harspecs just trundles up. Who knows? But in my opinion, I would rather have a third Exocrine and 10 points left over than a Screamer Killer and a Pyrovore at this point. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Cool stuff. Next up, we got Dewoy. Hello, Jordan. I've been testing my way through the Tyranid Codex and change my detachment every 3 to 4 months. That's kind of a cool way to play. Start by throwing things on the table that make sense and see how they feel in game. Now I finally got to Assimilation Swarm, which I love already as a former Necron player. Yep, you would love that. Also, Pyrovores are my favorite models. Yep, they're pretty sweet. I agree. I'd love to get more ideas on what to run, but I gotta let you know I don't own any gargoyles. Please forgive me. Idea behind the madness: Cyclophages will roleplay not only as medics, but as lictors too for doing secondaries. Yeah, that's kind of cool. The Rippers are there for healing and baiting my opponent and killing them for +1 to wound. Yes, that's funny. And while the Hive Tyrant handles the middle with some friends, Old One, I am assuming, with double healing, and the Harspecs with one Psychophage bully one flank. The Parasite is there to hopefully spawn more healers and terrorize the deployment zone. And to be super cool, right? Never played him, but I figured this is his detachment. Biovore is missing. I know. Ooh. No Biovore chat. Okay, cool. It's sweet though. It's not bad. So no battle line. All right, so we're just like slamming stuff on the table. Very cool. Nice. Okay. So we have the Hive Tyrant melee with the 6-man Tyrant Guard. We've got Old One Eye. We've got Neuro Tyrant. Yes, unfortunately, Drew Dog, I agree. That's probably what would be cool, and that's what would happen. But with multiple model units, the starting strength only changes, or rather, the below starting strength, excuse me, only triggers if there's less models than what originally started as. So 0 Biovores. Yeah, I'm getting to that. I agree, Venice. That I think this is pretty cool. We got to put Biovores in. So what I would do before anything, I like one Ripper. I think one Ripper still does the stuff that you want it to do. But I think we drop these two down for a Biovore. I just really think the Biovore is super integral to our plan right now as Tyranids. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, Data Slate comes down and they say Biovore. But I don't think that'll happen. But we'll see. We have 1 Harspecs, 3 Pyrovores, 1 Exocrine, and 1 Tyranifex. Okay, so this has 1 massive brick of Tyrant Guard and really, and then a bunch of other things which are strong as well. But I'm worried that in Assimilation Swarm, I feel like we want to focus on one. On Assimilation Swarm, I think we want to focus on like 2 bricks and really say we're going to do our best to heal these bricks the entire time, and then everything else you're going to have a hard time with, you know. Also with the Broodlord, I would love to have that 1 enhancement. I forget what it's called, but the one where you like, if you kill a unit, you get stronger. It's like +1 to the strength, and then if you kill something while within a feeder unit, then a harvester unit. Sorry, I'm very tired. Then you get +1 attack as well. Awesome, Trouble. I appreciate the kind words, man. That's awesome. Yes, and Jaldrin's correct as well. The reclaim biomass stratagem really, really activates even when a spore mine dies. So if you're able to set up a spore mine right next to something and then it dies, then boom, 1 CP, you can fringe shaped spore mine, yeah. And then you can regrow something, and it's pretty sweet. That's a pretty cool combo. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. With the simulation swarm, I feel like we kind of just want to like punch up the table. So I'm not really thinking a Tyrant effects honestly fits too much with us. So what I would want to do, cut a Tyrant effects, and I know that they are. It's tough to just say, oh, go buy 3 more Pyrovores, but I think Pyrovores are very, very good. And if they're one of your favorite models, you know, more Pyrovores. So what I would do, a Norn would be cool. Let's see if we can fit a Norn in. We'll do it, chat. We'll do it. But I do want to. I think we cut this. Oh, it feels gross cutting a Tyranifex, doesn't it? Ugh. So we have 190 points left over, and I guess a Norn would be cool. I think we want to cut either the Gene Stealer brick or the Zone Throw brick. I don't know if that's good, you know. Okay, so we have 190 points. I think we definitely want to have 2 Exocrines. I think 2 Exocrines is really kind of good for a simulation swarm, because I do think it's kind of a forward pressure list, but you also want to have some shooting so that your opponent can't just do whatever they want. So an Exocrine is going to give us 55 points left over. Boom, boom, boom. And then for a Norn, how many points is it in a simulator? It's like 270 points or something. We have 55 points left over. We can probably swap out something. It's 275 points. Goodness gracious. So we're looking at 220 points. So we could honestly... Man, but the Gene Stealers are so good. I'm like, oh, just cut the Gene Stealers for... Yeah, that is my thought, Odd Potato, that if we're swapping out the Gene Stealers for a more durable, like, punchy unit, the Norn Assimilator, and then you can have a Psychophage next to a Norn Assimilator, or Harspex next to a Norn Assimilator. I actually think I ran a pretty similar list to this. Yeah, I think, so for this case, if we're going with the Norn, which I think is pretty cool, actually. I don't think a Norn Assimilator is bad. Assimilator. And then I believe we have, it's 280 points. No, 230. So that's 285 that we have left over. What am I doing? So this is 285. And then 275, meaning we have 10 points left over. I don't think at that point, well, we can maybe give Parasite a Mortrex and enhancement. Are there any good Parasite enhancements in a simulator? I don't think so. For 10, no. I think you're just 10 points under. But I think that would be fun. Try this out. Really am recommending the Biovore. But like 2 big bricks of the Tyrant Guard and a Norn Assimilator seems pretty good. Just pushing up the field, taking over primary, and forcing your opponent to deal something with them. Seems good. Nice. And then here's Donat. Oh, and who was that? I want to say thank you one more time. Devoy. Thank you again. I feel like you've been a long time subscriber of the channel, so I really appreciate your support, and I hope my comments were cool. Here's Donat. Hey Jordan and all of you in chat, I had a crazy idea after I got my second Moloch. 2 Molochs. You have changed a lot of this list. Well, Donat, if you can summarize in chat real quickly what changes you've done, I'd love to take a look at like as close to it as possible. That's Biophagic Flow, and I think you already had it. Yeah. Let's see. So is Vanguard Onslaught? Yeah. Sir, second Moloch. Oh no, Bitis. We've got a Broodlord, a Winged Hive Tyrant, and a Winged Prime. 20 Hormagaunts, Biovore, Gene Stealers, Double Lictor, Ravners, Tyranid Warriors, Exocrine, Moloch, and double Tyrannifex. That seems great. That seems really, really, really good. Honestly, Donut, what have you changed? Because at this point, I really, really like that list. I'm totally fine with it. You know, I don't. What have you changed? Because this seems really cool. Like the Moloch package. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure the Moloch package is the most like 100% competitive thing, but if you want to do the Moloch package, I think a list like this is really good. I personally would probably swap out the Tyranid Warriors. Killed the two Fexes, by the way, added a good old Neuro Anthropes. Okay. Yeah, seems sweet. And I don't remember what else. So if we took out these guys, let's just kind of like, if we're kind of copying what your idea is, we already have, do we have a Neuro? Oh, no, we don't. So if we do Neuro Tyrant and Zoans, then that's going to put us, I'm getting ahead of myself. Winged Tyranid Prime, Winged Hive Tyrant. Neuro Tyrant is 105. And then Zoanthropes. 200, so that's 305. So that means we have 75 points. Oh, like in my opinion, that's an easy fix. We just do more Raveners and then we're chilling, you know? See, another thing that I would think about, I personally like Chameleonic on the Winged Hive Tyrant, and I think it's less than Hunting Grounds. We have 75 points left over. So what you could do is you could put the Hunting Grounds. Von Ryan would be cool too. I personally would probably do Raveners over Ron Ryan's, and I honestly really like the 6-man Raveners and Vanguard Onslaught. I have a list that I'm currently brewing that's called Ravener City. I want to try pretty soon. It's got 12 Raveners in it. It's triple Broodlord, Death Leaper, Neuro Tyrant, Winged Hive Tyrant, Gargoyles, Biovore, 30 Gene Stealers, 3 Lictors, a Neurolictor, 12 Raveners, and then Zoanthropes. So that's that's a list that I'm looking at running pretty soon. That would be sick. But yeah, I think Von Ryans are cool. Oh, I got you. Yeah. And then Donut, how has your experience been with the Tyranid melee warriors? I always kind of had a hard time getting them comfortably into combat, so I would probably switch out the Broodlord and the Winged Prime for another brick of Gene Stealers. I think you have to shift around. What is it? It's like 15 points. You could get a third Lictor. If you swapped out the melee warriors for another Broodlord, oh, they are crazy. See, when they hit, they're really, really good. I agree with you, but sometimes they're a little bit more fragile than the Gene Stealers. Yeah, man, it sounds like you have a great plan. And tell us about your Moloch success. How have the Molochs been? Hey, chat, this is a moment in time. We can have firsthand experience on great Moloch success. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to see great Moloch success here? Everybody's eagerly anticipating. Zage still has to build mine. I'm not sure what he's referring to, but he still has to. I'm just sitting here. This is the peak content. But yeah, I think this is a great idea. If you're running double Moloch, then the list is going to look something like this. Yep, that makes sense, don't it? I can see that, man. I can see that. It seems sweet. Yeah, tell us how the Molochs are. We're gonna move on. This seems really cool. I'm glad to hear from you. They're a bit funky. Ooh, stop press this chat. He says, so about Molochs, they are a bit funky. Funky as in they're so good, right? I'm sure. They kill backline support characters. I mean, that would be pretty sweet with the mortals. I could see that. Like if they're not screening really important stuff, then just boom, pop up and really get you. I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, that is definitely better than nothing. Sebastian. Moving on. That's sweet, man. I'm glad to hear some Molochs that are doing some justice. Oh yeah, doing turn one, just popping up and just that could be kind of cool. That could be kind of cool. You're right. Hey Jordan, thanks for being an awesome Tyranid player. Here's my Vanguard Invader list. Double Vanguard Onslaught. Dang, you guys are making me want to play some Vanguard Onslaught. I just want to know your thoughts about this list. Some people tell me that I should include a Neurolictor. However, I don't know what to trade for the Neurolictor, which I think is expensive and most of the time doesn't do anything when I play it. You said it, dude. Yeah, I kind of maybe agree. Maybe because I'm not that good player. I don't know. But I know that it might be a good idea to have one in Vanguard. But if you think the list is good as is, it's fine. It had really good results, except against Blood Angels Liberator. Thank you. Yeah, I think Neurolictors are good. I think you really, really, really have to be purposeful with how you play them and how you construct your list around them. They are fun. Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a good game with just popping out Molochs and doing a bunch of damage, then that sounds like a good time. I'm not going to argue with that. That sounds like a lot of fun. But yeah, Neurolictors, I made a video on them. I really think you kind of play them to threaten the battle shock, not necessarily to rely on it. And if your opponent just kind of ignores the battle shock, then it's like, ugh, you know. But let's take a look at the list. We've got double Broodlord. I like it so far. Death Leaper, Neurotyrant, Winged Prime, double Gargoyles. This looks great. Biovore, double Exocrine, double Gene Stealers, triple Lictor, Raveners, Tyranid with melee warrior, with melee whatever, Tyrant effects, Zone Throws. In my opinion, this list is great. You know, and I apologize. It's funny that I sometimes apologize for just complimenting people's lists, but this is really good. This is a good list. Let's take a deeper look at it. We don't really have any enhancements. The enhancement that I would really actually like to have is Hunting Grounds. I know it's pretty expensive. It's either like 25 or 30, right? We also don't have a Hive Tyrant. Hunting Grounds is 20. You're right at 2K. 1995 points. So something that you could try to do, which might be blasphemous to chat, is dropping a Gargoyle and try that Neurolictor out. I don't really think you have to. This is honestly more shooting than I typically run in Vanguard Onslaught. I don't think that means it's wrong. I think it's good, dude. You could try and dropping one squad of Gargoyles. But then I also, since you're running more shooting, actually do like the more screening with double Gargoyles. I do like that. So like being able to screen so that your Gene Stealers are not necessarily doing like a first turn punch, but really being able to dedicate them to when they should attack as opposed to just sending them up in the first place. I think that's pretty sweet. I think I kind of tend to like double Tyrant effects as opposed to Tyrant effects Zone Thropes, but I guess it also again it gives you the option of into what targets you're going to activate into. The Zone Thropes are of course going to have the opportunity to activate into those blast targets a little bit more. And the Tyrant effects, you kind of get what you get. It's two really, really huge shots, and that's it. No, it's boring answer. This list is good. It's a good list. Sebastian, if you've had success with it, tweak it as you like. My Vanguard Onslaught lists are typically more melee heavy, but with what you got going on with the Exocrines allowing reroll ones to hit to the Zoanthropes that are going to be hitting on twos, and then the Tyrant effects if he's able to stay still. That's a really good shooting threat as well. And you have 1, 2, 3 melee threats, quite a bit of screening, quite a bit of punch. Great list. I'm not doing any changes, honestly. We'll move on. It seems weird, but I really like that list. Let me check how many more lists we have before I just. It would be we have 3. Yeah, we're gonna zoom. Fire Furby is next. Hey Jordan, first off, I just want to say how much I appreciate your channel. Your content has been incredibly helpful in improving my understanding of Tyranids and it's made building and refining my army a lot more fun. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I recently put together this 2,000 point invasion fleet list, and I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have the time. Do you think it's balanced, or is there anything you recommend tweaking? Main list, 2,000 points. We've got Broodlord, Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, very cool, no Neuro Tyrant, Battle Line, 2 Gargoyles, other data sheets with Biovore, triple Exocrine, 2, 3, Gene Stealers, Lictor, Norn Emissary, 2 Pyrovores, 1 Ravener, 1 Tyrannifex, and then Tyrant Guard. Man, I was really okay. So I think most of the time we only want 1 Pyrovore. I'm not a huge fan of the Tyrant Guard. They're gonna make this guy durable, but he already has adaptive biology. He already has a 5 feel no pain. If you threw him out there with your Tyrant effects and stuff, they're gonna have a hard time killing him. So what I'm gonna recommend, can we fit another Tyrant effects in without cutting the Norn? So that's our goal, and then we might cut the Norn. I think the Norn is a really good like distraction piece. Ooh, actually, are we right at 2,000 points? Okay. I think this list is good. This is another good list. We want it. We're doing the thing where like if somebody puts a Norn on the list, they probably want to play the Norn. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to strike a balance between range firepower like Exocrines and Tyrant effects, close combat threats like Norn Emissary, Gene Stealers, Raveners. Thanks again. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Really, really, really nice. Nice words. Odd Potato. Small token of appreciation for all the hard work, especially on streams where you go beyond just reviewing us and take the time to help create them. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. That's awesome, dude. And then, is that your first super chat ever? I don't know what the 1 means, but thank you. I'm even going to reply to you with a thanks. It's very kind. Really, really, really appreciate the support, dude. Okay. Cool. So first thing, we're gonna cut the Tyrant Guard. I just don't quite think that they're doing. It's your first super chat, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's incredible. I don't think that the Tyrant Guard are quite doing enough for our points. In addition, oh man, this Norn is so many points, man. Yeah, I am running through them, but it's fun. It's good. It's good to hang with you guys for sure. We have Broodlord, Death Leaper. Do we cut? I think. All right. So I think we're gonna do some finagling. We keep the Norn. I think we cut the Death Leaper, and we go up to 160 points. 160. And then we could probably cut 1 Pyrovore, be at 200 points. And then we just do another Tyrant effects. I really like that change. We're only 10 points under. Another thing that you could do is you could so we're at 200 points. You could I like that. If we're keeping the Norn Emissary, then I think that's what I would do. We still have a good enough scoring units. We have 2 Lictors, we have the Raveners, we have the Pyrovore to strip cover off. We kept the Norn Emissary. Triple Exocrine, Gene Stealers. Yeah, this list looks like fun. This list looks like a good time. I have no idea why my cursor got that big. Oh, is it? I don't know. Mac problems. Yeah, thank you so much for the support, Fire Furby. This is pretty cool, dude. I like the list. Tell us how the Norn has been in the comments below. Moving along. We have 1, 2. Odd Potato. See, you're in there. Oh, Odd Potato, you're the last list of the day. right after this one. Yeah, don't tell me what you changed originally. I'm curious to how far off it was from what we said. Richard Leger. I hope I said that right. Hey Jordan, love the channel. Thank you for making content that is so informative and easy to digest. Thank you. That is genuinely always the goal. I want people to, understand, and hopefully it's insightful and helpful, and maybe also it's content that you can just like paint along to, you know? I'm very new and still, and these are all of the models I have so far. I'm looking to work up to 2,000 points over time while making this as a more cohesive 1,000 point list. So if you could swap in units that you think would be good buys on the way to 1,000 points, that would be much appreciated. Okay, so he's starting at 90, so he wants to be 1,000 points. And then he's also wanting only units that are good purchases for later down the road. Seems cool. We've got a Neurotyrant. We have a Winged Tyranid Prime. We have Gargoyles, Termagants, Barbgaunts, Lictor, Von Ryans, Psychophage, Screamer Killer, Tyrannofex. Oh. It's 2 lists. Is this... What is this? Oh, okay. I'll just look off of this. Oh, he has a Termagant. Oh, I'm so confused now. What did I do? Oh, this must have been a list that... He should watch the recommended buys. So this might be a secondary list that I just forgot to put who it was. Okay, so things that we want to do. We want to downgrade this Wing Prime, or we want to find room for a Hive Tyrant. Hive Tyrant is one of the best buys that you can get as a Tyranid player. So let's see if we're going to have the points for it. It's going to be 235 points, which is quite a bit of points. But first off, with 1,000 points, do we even do Hive Tyrant 1,000 points? I think maybe not. Okay. But we do eventually. So let's say purchase list. Hive Tyrant. And then go to Maelstrom Gaming. If you're not familiar with them as a Tyranid player, you should. They're it's kind of, I feel like it's me and Maelstrom Gaming making Tyranid content. He does a phenomenal job. If you haven't looked at his stuff, please do so. He also has an Etsy shop where he sells Hive Tyrant torsos. So you can buy that box, the Hive Tyrant box, and then go to his Etsy shop or wherever and get an additional Hive Tyrant torso. And then you can create a flying Hive Tyrant and a Hive Tyrant just from one box. So it's pretty good. So purchase list, I definitely think you should do a Hive Tyrant. I agree. I think a Hive Tyrant is probably too much for a 1,000 point list. So we're going to kind of trim some things. And what I would like is to have just the Neurotyrant. And then Zoanthropes. I think Zoanthropes would be a good buy as well. And you're going to want 2 boxes of those. And then an additional Tyrannofex. I think all of those things would be really, really good purchases. And then before even the Hive Tyrant, I'm going to say a Biofor. So if you do those things, you're going to be well on your way to 2,000 points, and it'll be really, really kind of a nice deal. All right. So, but let's see what we can do with this list. So we're going to just trim some stuff. A Psychophage is kind of good, but an Invasion Fleet, and especially at 1,000 points, you're going to hold your 5-up Feel No Pain for whatever is going to be looking at your one target. Hopefully there's only one target that is in the open. 5-up Feel No Pain there, and the 6-up Feel No Pain from the Psychophage doesn't really do too much in that regard. So if that makes sense. So we're going to cut the Psychophage, which is 95 points. And then we are also going to cut the Winged Tyranid Prime, which will give us 170 points. Boom, boom, boom. And then my idea for Tyranids at 1,000 points is you either spam a whole bunch of monsters, right? Or you kind of do shooting and then screening. And so we're going to do the shooting and screening things a little bit more. So something that I would want is a good purchase, which would be 6 Zoanthropes, as well as a good thing for this list. Another thing you can do maybe that second Tyrant effect slots in here instead. But what we can do, we're also probably, I'm talking in circles a little bit, but it's okay. We're going to cut one Termagant squad. That'll put us to 230 points. Very cool. And then the Barb Gaunts, which is going to put us to 285. But I'm actually just going to put this at 235 because you need a Biovore first. So basically swapping out the Barb Gaunts for a Biovore. And then we will have the 200 points to either do Zoanthropes or the second Tyranid effects. I really think your first buy is probably always going to be the Biovore, and then you can go from there. So let's say we go Zoanthropes. Let's say we want to paint something different, and we want a little bit of variety in our list. So we don't really want, double Tyranid effects right out the gate. And then we're at 35 points left over. Seems pretty cool. I think what I also like is if we drop this Termagant squad and do another Gargoyle squad. And that is also going to be a pretty good buy for you as well. And then that's going to be 10 points left over, I believe. And then you're kind of chilling from there. Like you could swap these Von Ryans out for Raveners, would be pretty good for scoring. But I think at that point you're kind of hanging. So purchase list. I think it's lame for me to just say, hey, go watch this video. But the top 5 bugs to buy is one of my proudest videos that I put out because I really did take some time and I did point efficiency versus the dollar amount. And so I talk in depth a lot about that. So take a look at that if you're interested in that. But for Tyranid buys, Hive Tyrant, well, Biovore first, of course, which is boring. I'm sorry, but it's kind of where we're at. Hive Tyrant, then Zoanthropes would be pretty good. Or a second Tyranifex. I feel like these 2 units are pretty interchangeable. Either the Tyranifex or the Zoanthropes, But if you want variety, go for Zoanthropes. It's going to be more expensive. Another reason why I feel comfortable and excited to recommend the Tyranifex is because if you're in the States, you can get a Tyranifex for like $55, which for a lot of really good units that are 190 points, you're not going to be able to do that. Like the Tyranifex and Games Workshop, please do not be watching this. The Tyranifex is like really, really cheap for what it does for us. Really, it really, really is, like money-wise. So if you're starting out right now at this point, I can't recommend Tyranifexes enough. They're really, really good. And then Gargoyles. So like these 4 units are really good. These 5, sorry, are really good. Exocrines too. They're a little bit pricier if you're starting out. There's also maybe a small chance that they get adjusted point-wise. I don't potentially foresee that happening, but it could happen. Anyways, moving right along, we have 2 lists. I was mistaken. Oh, let me say thank you one more time. I apologize. Richard, thank you again for submitting the list. Guys, if you didn't know it, but if you didn't submit lists, then this content doesn't exist. So, I know I'm going through and reviewing everything, but honestly, if there was not an interest, then it wouldn't happen. So thank you for submitting a list. Thank you for being here. This is a 1,000-point list. It's a 1,000-point swarm list. And I have a feeling that I'm going to love it. We have Neurotyrant. We have Tervagon with Adaptive Biology. Let's see, did he have any notes? Scroll back for the updated list. Okay, so Lord plus Neuronode plus Steelers, Neuro plus Zones, Hunting Grounds, Winged Hive Tyrant. Oh, you did put the Winged Hive Tyrant. Winged Tyranid plus Warriors, 2 Homorgants, Biovore, 3 Raveners, 2 Neurolictor, 2 Exo, 2 Moloch. Sweet. Yeah, that seems good too, man. It really does. Here's a 1,000-point list that is running Swarm with a Tervagon. I forget who did this. I apologize that your name must have not gotten posted. My apologies. Unless it was odd potato. It's not odd potato. Okay. Is it odd potato? Odd potato, is this your list? Yeah, this is your list. Okay, cool. Here's what I put together. For some reason, it pasted like above. Here's what I put together. Army overview, Neurotyrant, Synaptic Linchpin. Okay, cool. That's interesting that it posted like that. Now I feel good. Now I feel like I didn't like clip somebody's name out. That whatever. Core block is Tervigon, Zoanthropes, Venomthropes, and Termagants. 40. Tervigon regenerates Termagants, improving their resilience, grants the invulnerable, which is definitely something. Nearby units for durability. Venomthropes provide stealth and cover to increase survivability. Termagants, tough objective holders thanks to the combined buffs from the above units. Hormagants provide fast moving screening units to get the enemy's opponent zone or objects. Cause havoc. Yep. Holds the home objective while spawning. Yep. This focuses on synergy, durability, and disruption. Tervigon led brick of Termagants plus Zoanthropes is designed to be a near unstoppable wall in the midboard. And I bet you in 1,000 points, there's probably a pretty good chance that it is a nearly unstoppable wall. I bet you that it's probably really good at that. Biovore and Neurotime provide support and protection with squads of Raveners apply pressure to the opponent field objective. No, you're good. I love the essay, dude. I really do. I would say the Neurotyrant, I wouldn't be afraid to be a little bit more aggressive with him. I know in 1,000 points you want to be like super efficient with your units, but like at 1,000 points, if they're trying to shoot at the Tervigon and the Termagants and your Neurotyrant, odds are something is just chilling out there. There's not a lot of anti-tank in the list, and I've been considering swapping in an Exocrine to address that. However, I really want to stick to the Horde style approach. At 1,000 points, it's challenging to balance every support role and still have the units I want. I can't agree more. You know, that makes perfect sense to me. So in my opinion, let's take a look at the list again. In my opinion, I love this list at 1,000 points. So as long as you have been having success with it, as long as you have been enjoying playing it, you get lethals from the Tervigon for anti-tank stuff. And if you're playing against something that's like super, super spamming on tanks, then your game plan is probably different than killing their tanks. I would say your game plan is probably more go out and score a bunch on objectives. It would be interesting to see if we could fit, if we could cut one of these Raveners and then cut. So if we cut Raveners, if we cut Synaptic Linchpin, and if we change this Hormagant, I'm not super excited about this because I do like the 10-man Hormagant. And if we change that 10-man Hormagant, oh wait, we could just do, oh yeah, change the 10-man Hormagant to another 10-man Termagant. That would give us 100 points to basically upgrade this Ravener squad to a 6-man Zoanthrope. Because I feel like that would also help your anti-tank. Oh, awesome, Donut. It was great to hang out with you. Thanks for being in chat, man. I'll see you next time. I think that would help your anti-tank problem. In addition, you could also just have them be an additional 3-man Zoanthrope and then kind of move from there. But let's see what we can do to help you get to 2,000 points. So in my opinion, and you have a phenomenal core. You're 100% correct. In my opinion, you want to have 60 Termagants. Because a lot of times they'll be able to deal with 1 or 2 blobs. They're probably not going to be able to deal with 3 blobs. And if you're able to regrow and do crazy stuff with that, then that gets to be a really good point. So first up, we're going to add, here, let me do this. Road to 2K. Dun, 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 dun. So first up, we're going to have 20 more Termagants, which that's going to be 120 points. So that'll get us up to the 60 that I was talking about. And then we are going to do 3 additional zoanthropes. And that's going to be 100 points right there. That's 220 points. Then next up, we're definitely going to want to have the Hive Tyrant. This is going to give you lethals, which kind of stacks already with the Tervagon, so it's not always, it's not always incredibly useful, but you can have 2 sources of lethals and they can kind of spread out and make sure that all 60 Termagants are always in range of that lethals. And in this list, I would recommend giving it Perfectly Adapted. And that's going to be at 250 points, I believe. So we were looking at 240. So we're at 490 points already. And let's look. So we have 490 points. Now we can start working in the other direction. Jarrett says, playing a list very similar to this in Crusade right now. Working well. Running it in Invasion Fleet. Should I switch to Endless? No. I think Invasion Fleet is the way to go with Swarms. For sure, man. It really, really is. You know what I think is fun? I think a 20-man Hormigaunt squad is pretty sweet for just gumming up the field. So if you upgrade those Hormigaunts to 20-man, pretty strong. And then that's going to bring us down to 425 points. Also, they kind of really lean into the swarm aesthetic. Now you get into the question of, do you want an additional Venomthrope squad to kind of branch out the stealth aura? Could be a thing. I do like what you're saying with Exocrines. Surprise, Jordan liking Exocrines, So you could go 2 different directions. You could say more shooting or more melee. Like a Gene Stealer brick is, in my opinion, always a good thing to have. In this case, let's go more. Let's go Gene Stealers. I think a Gene Stealer brick would be really cool. I forget, Odd Potato, if you said you're still collecting. If you are still collecting, then I think Gene Stealers are really good. Let's do Gene Stealers. I'm feeling Gene Stealers. So you want Gene Stealer, Broodlord brick. That's gonna be 230. So that will bring this down to 195. Man, we got so many points. How are we doing on like Extreme seem a must to take 2 or 3? You know what? I think you're right. I think we actually do double Exocrine instead of the Gene Stealers. So 425. Exocrines are going to be 270. And then 425 minus 270 is 135. Let me see that. I don't think that's right. 425 minus 270 is 155. Okay. I don't think we have lictors. So if we do, oh, my Exocrines always roll very well. Maybe I'm taking all of your Exocrine luck, dude. I'm sorry. They are really good. I think rounding this out, we do like Lictor, and that's going to be 120 points. And then the last 35 points is really up to you. You can shift some of these things around. Maybe this Hormigaunt brick instead becomes like a gargoyle brick, a 10-man gargoyle, or maybe you shift things around to do a powerful. Either way, I really like this archetype. I really think at 1,000 points, 40 Termagants is really, really, really tough. And I agree, Odd Potato. I think more shooting actually makes more sense than Gene Stealers at this point, because you can kind of like just shoot over all of your ginormous screens. But yeah, seems like some cool stuff. Seems like a good stream, folks. Um, everybody, we did it. We're back. We streamed on a Monday. This was a longer one. Thank you everybody for being here and for supporting. Like the stream if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, help us to 7K. You know, we just passed 6K. Not reaching for 7K just yet. Just grateful for all the support we have gotten. Thank you again for hanging out with us. I won't be on stream Wednesday, but it's going to be a really cool stream. There, who knows? Maybe Data Slate happens Wednesday, and maybe Zach and Mike will talk a little bit about it while they are there. There is talk about a hot wing challenge on Wednesday. So if that's something that you're interested in tuning in and seeing happen, right here, same place, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday. Thanks everybody for being super cool. Stay rolling dice. I'll see you later. Bye bye.